the channel, I welcome you to my nightmare with the music Maniacs McFarlane Toys, Alice Cooper.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another McFarlane Toys unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got a little bit of a twist. We got the first in the Music Maniacs line in Alice Cooper. But for all your Alice Cooper needs, head over to Entertainment Earth, use discount code Kyle, save yourself 10% on in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. However, in a plot twist, I did find this at Target, so I guess look out at Target stores for little Alice Cooper. Have to imagine Ozzy straight on the heels of this one. Not a huge fan of that Ozzy. I am going to pick it up, though, because I'm an Ozzy fan. It's just not the Ozzy I would have came out with first, and we'll talk about that one in that review. But Alice Cooper is here today, and an interesting one, and this kind of came out of left field. I was at WonderCon or one of those kind of things, one of those deals, one of those conventions that we first were announced to these Music Maniacs. Talked about Ozzy. We do know the Trooper, Eddie from Iron Maiden, is coming as well. Would love to see what other Iron Maiden figures are in the future. But I'm very hopeful we get more heavy metal icons from McFarlane Toys. Heck, give me the Red Rocker. Give me Sammy Hagar. How about that one? I'll take that one. Obviously, the Rob Halford, all the Iron Maiden kind of stuff. Give me Lemmy. We got him from Super 7. I'll take it from McFarlane, too. It'll be very interesting to keep track of where this line does go, how it ebbs and flows, because at my core, I'm a metal guy, I'm a music guy. I absolutely love music of all genres, all kinds of stuff, especially heavy metal and hard rock. And Alice Cooper, one of those perennial favorites in that category. And I would never claim to be the biggest Alice Cooper fan in the world. I've heard every single one of his albums. Yes, it's true, every single one. A little bit of here and there with that one for me. I know a lot of people love this Alice Cooper band stuff. The Glenn Buxton years, of course. I do enjoy that kind of stuff, but really where Alice Cooper shines for me is on the live stage. That's my most favorite Alice Cooper time frame. I've seen him open up for Motley Crue. I've seen him by himself. I've seen him open for Iron Maiden. I've seen him, 20 times over the years. I don't know about that much, but a lot over the years. And I enjoy his live shows a lot more than his albums, especially his early albums. Almost avant-garde in a lot of ways, some would say. But Alice Cooper, a guy that never slows down, even gets involved with Jake the Snake at WrestleMania back in the day. So he's a guy that gets around at the end of the day. But Alice Cooper, an all-timer, rock and roll Hall of Famer, one of the most influential guys of all time, and very old nowadays, but still hasn't missed a beat. It's absolutely amazing what he does. So a lot of fun to get an Alice Cooper figure right here. And it's always kind of interesting for me as well. As some people, if you're a deep Alice Cooper fan, you probably remember Glenn Buxton, his guitarist back in the original band. He actually moved to my wife's small town she grew up in, Clarion, Iowa. Shout out to Clarion, Iowa. Back in the day, Glenn Buxton moved to that town, and he became good friends with my wife's father. And he has now since passed away. Both of them have passed away, of course. But my wife's dad would have been an all-timer on this channel. He kind of reminded me, without the pedophilia or whatever, of Don Vito from Bam Margera's family. Kind of a mixture between those two. Absolutely wild, crazy guy. You don't want to sit by him at a buffet. He would get piles. He would pile the food on a buffet. One of many stories. And I'd always say, you can go back up as many times as you want. You don't have to get 50 things all at once. But he was a wild man, and we'd sit there for hours just like this as he was eating at the buffet. It was a crazy scene, but he never met a stranger. He was a wild man if there ever was one. But he was good friends with Glenn Buxton, and you can imagine Glenn Buxton, a wild man in a small rural town in Iowa. Absolutely crazy. So I got to hear a lot of stories about that. So whenever I do think of Alice Cooper, I go back to that story. So the more you know, the more you know. But of course, the more you know is how we're going to do this unboxing. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. We'll do some comparisons later on in this video. But without further ado, let's dive in here. Now, we saw the pictures of this, promotional images of Alice Cooper. I thought it looked pretty good. However, I don't know if underwhelmed is the right word. As I saw this on the pegs at Target, it's a heck of a lot smaller than I envisioned it. I guess when I think McFarlane Toys, I think of like the DC figures, the Spawn figures. I think of a little bit bigger figures. However, this is about your 6-inch scale figures, which isn't terrible because you could put these in with your Marvel Legends, your G.I. Joe Classifieds, possibly your wrestling figures. I was thinking, hey, this would be great next to Jake the Snake. We could reenact WrestleMania 3. Problem is, he might be a little small, which may work with Jake the Snake, but it's not the right era of Alice Cooper. Much like that Ozzy, I wish they would have chose a different version of Alice Cooper, but who knows? They might do another one in the future. But there we go. We got the packaging here. It does say Music Maniacs. You got it says McFarlane on the headstock of that guitar. I guess it's supposed to be a Fender-esque. Obviously, it doesn't say Fender anywhere. Shout out to the Telecaster. My favorite guitar to play is the Telecaster by far. Just feels the best in my hands. That's the way it goes. You guitarists out there, what do you like? A Les Paul, a Strat, maybe a Tele, maybe an SG, maybe an Explorer, maybe a Flying V. Who knows? Choose your own adventure right there. Alice Cooper at the bottom, of course, looking good. It does say authenticated limited edition of 8,000 pieces McFarlane toys. A little bit of smoke and mirrors right there. I just don't know if they'll sell more than 8,000 of these. So it's a little promotional tool, much like Jazzwares does with some figures. You put that 8,000, oh, it's a little rare. You might get some extra sales out of it because honestly, 8,000 might be all they would sell, and that could even be pushing it at this point. Love Alice Cooper, but how many Alice Cooper fans are going to take that next step to actually buy an action figure or even be that engaged with Alice Cooper to know there's an action figure? So there's always that going on there when you put the old business hat on. On the back, a little bit plain Jane, a little bit less. I wish there was a little biography. I wish there was a little bit more to something here. But it does look like we got a card in here, so maybe that'll work there. But you got Jibber Jabber down low. Promoting Paranormal. Was that his last album? I believe it was. And I believe I got the 2 CD version. And I could be getting my Alice Cooper albums confused, but I think he reunited with his original band outside of Glenn Buxton, who passed away, of course, and they did some songs together. I could be wrong. That could have been the one after this, but Paranormal was pretty critically acclaimed for the time, I would say. But looking good. Paranormal 2017 is what it says on the back there. But we're going to get Alice out of the package here. Comes off very easily, as you can see right there as well. Alice Cooper, see you later. Goodbye. And we're going to get this card out of here. Now, he's got that tape. Todd, what do you say about this one? You've been quiet on the couch. What? Oh, Todd's nervous because he knows I'm a heavy metal guy and stuff, and he feels like, you know, Kyle knows enough to be dangerous about DC, but he knows a lot about his music stuff. So you're a little worried, you're a little nervous over there on the couch. Now you know what it's like when I see you go up to the shower and you spend 2 hours in there with all the hot water. It's crazy, Todd. But it does have a little protector card here. I'll say that's good. But Todd, no matter what I say, I'm happy you're doing this. I'm happy. We need more music figures, especially heavy metal. Bam, see you later, goodbye. The more the merrier. The more the merrier, Todd. We'll give that the old heave-ho, see you later, goodbye. Alice Cooper right here, Certificate of Authenticity. So that's interesting. It's almost like those DC ones we see. I thought there'd be a little War and Peace back here, but none of that. But this is 1,498 of 8,000. I do appreciate the individual numbers on these, Todd. I think that's a good idea, a smart idea, because you get stuff like Jazzwares, other toy lines. It's 1 of 3,000. Well, is it number 1? Is it 2? Is it 300? Is it 3,000? What is it? You never know, but we do know that with Alice. Get a little card there. Collect your own adventure there of some cards. And of course, Todd have to have some twist ties in here, but it looks like you only put 1 twist tie in, so we're here for that. Plastic prison minus a snake, of course. We're going to cut this out. We're going to get old Alice Cooper out of the package here. This is going to be interesting. And like I said, I'm kind of salivating thinking, okay, what other musicians can we get out of this line? Who else could they possibly make? Who could they give us? See you later, goodbye. I'm here for it all. You know me, heavy metal guy, heavy metal guy. So right off the bat, Todd, appreciate a stand here. We get the stand, 2 peg holes there, and it does look like it also holds the microphone. Just pegs right in, maybe. I might have to figure that out. Oh, there it is. It pegs right in the front, so I like this. A little bit of a self-containment unit here. You got the black microphone. Microphone is not removable, but you got the mic stand right there. You can see Alice kind of carrying that around the audience, too, if you want to. And it is removable, so you can have that done. But I do appreciate that. Like a little stand, a little extra security there. I have a little horror section and music section up there upstairs. We've never shown that in our toy videos, the toy tour videos. One of these days, maybe we will do that. But now we're getting down to business with Alice Cooper. Now, he does got a snake here. Dare I say, is this snake poison? It could be poison. And we know the Alice Cooper song, Poison, as well. But like a young Jake the Snake Roberts, he's got a little snake going on. Almost looks like a dinosaur head on this one. But it looks very cool. I'm here for an accessory. I'm here for a snake accessory. On point there with old Alice Cooper. But now let's get down to business. He's got a top hat that would make a magician blush, is what it would do. Quite the top hat up there. It's a big top hat. And then you get down to the long black Alice hair, and then of course the patented makeup, almost like a ventriloquist dummy on the side and then around the eyes. Looking good, though. All day long, somebody hands me this head, says, who is this? That's Alice Cooper. I know that is Alice Cooper. Love that right there. You got the studded sleeves on this one, looking good, and then he's got a nice formal coat over the top, and then he's got a white undershirt. Unfortunately, blood. Who knows what he was up to? No good, probably, is what he was. But you guys know I love a bloody figure, and it gives a little dash of color to this figure as well. Got a belt with a little skull on it, black pants, black boots. Pretty much it. Of course, black gloves as well. Articulation. Arm's going to go all the way around for us right there. Single jointed elbow. A little side-to-side action. Hands back and forth, side-to-side. Okay. Waist articulation is there. Head articulation is there. And I think I mentioned the top hat is not removable. Leg goes up. Single jointed knee. No side-to-side. No ankles, no nothing here. So you know what this figure reminds me of? And I think there might even be a little bit of reuse here. Not so much in the belt, but the bottom half. It reminds me of the Batman, Adam West series Batman figures from McFarlane. Oh, Todd said, oh, you figured it out. You figured it out. But about the same exact scale as those, kind of the same feel to those, the same articulation as those. So it's a little bit of that crossover there. So I don't know how I feel about that. Honestly, I would have rather had this like the DC McFarlane, the Spawn McFarlane, a little bit bigger, a little bit more articulation, a little bit more premium feel. But this does get the job done for what it is. Obviously, Alice Cooper's not a superhero. You don't need crazy poses for him, so I understand what they're going for here. But he does feel a little small, but feels small against what? Because this is the first figure from the line. It is Todd's line over there, the old McFarlane Toys, so you can't really say it's small. It's part of that. You can, I guess, just say, I wish it was taller. That's all it is. And that's what Too Short used to say back in the day, I think. Wasn't it Too Short? I don't know. But this does, of course, fit around his neck. Should have mentioned that there. Very cool, though. Very, very cool for what this is. I'm very excited to see what the future holds here. Where do we go from here with this Alice Cooper? We know Iron Maiden Eddie Trooper editions around the corner. We know that Ozzy, the lackluster Ozzy. I said it again, Todd. I'm not a fan of that Ozzy. I don't want a current Ozzy. I want Bark at the Moon. I want a Diary of a Madman. I want old school Ozzy from Sabbath. I want No Rest for the Wicked. I want those ones first, but hopefully in the future maybe we'll get those. But I'll take what I can get at this point. Alice Cooper looks pretty good. Now, let's compare him to some Super 7 friends. How about that? We do got, of course, Papa Emeritus Part 3. Just recently unboxed that on the channel. That's a heck of a height difference right there. I guess in my head, I thought these guys were closer to scale. Pretty far off scale. So mixing and matching these one, unfortunately, probably not the way to go with that. We do, of course, got the all-timer. One of the greatest figures ever. I'm saying it right here. One of the greatest figures of all time is this Lemmy Super 7. Absolutely in love with this one. Can't wait for the second round. Lemmy, order right now if you're watching this. I got to pick that one up. And then, of course, we'll have a Major Rager while we're at it. We'll get old Cliff over here as well. You can see the Super 7 ones not quite fitting up next to those. So the scale, just not going to happen. And then, of course, you want an AW Jazzwares figure. And you can almost say Mattel Elite as well. Not quite there either, but Alice Cooper isn't a big giant guy, so maybe you could smoke and mirror this in with your Jake the Snake Roberts if you really wanted to, or your Cowboy Kyle figure. It's your choice. You got to choose your own adventure at the end of the day. That's the way it works. But an interesting start to the Metal Music Maniacs line from McFarlane Toys. Like I said, I'm here for this. I might be biased. I love my heavy metal hard rock. This isn't going to be for everybody. This is going to be a niche line, I really do think, and I can see 8,000 being really where they want to be. I don't think they want more than 8,000, and I think the 8,000 is just a selling tool to get people to buy that maybe are on the fence thinking, oh, this is really limited edition, better jump in on this one. I don't know. Be interested to hear your thoughts though on this Alice Cooper figure. If it's a pickup, a pass, a long game, a no game, an I don't care game, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content. If you can believe that, we got more content for you, of course, over on Patreon. Patreon, the best way to support this very YouTube channel. You can also support the channel at PresenTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Don't forget Barnes & Noble and Amazon. My new book, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Classic Superstar Series. Just shy of 700 pages, if you can believe that. A labor of love, if there ever was one. Appreciate all the support on the book. And if you want to hit me up on social media, SirPaul64 on the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for the great Alice Cooper, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.